Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Pedal Shift Project. The Pedal Shift Project is a series of conversations, thoughts, and experiments on bicycle travel adventures. From tips and tricks to ideas on how to ride your ride, let's shrink the world by bike. Show notes and more are available at pedalshift.net, and you can email the show at pedalshift@pedalshift.net or text me at 202-930-1109, and check Pedal Shift out on all the socials as well. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 435th edition of the Pedal Shift Project. My name's Tim Mooney. Thanks so much for joining. On this edition, we are doing a little bit of adventuring around the city of Seattle and the immediate environs. This is the beginning of, as promised in a previous episode, a little mini-series on adventuring in this area by bicycle. And on this edition, we are going to be doing something that is a big deal, at least it felt like on paper, and that was to cross Lake Washington on the floating bridge from the east side. Really, it's not, is Mercer Island the east side? Seattle people, you tell me. But from Mercer Island all the way back to the city of Seattle. I'll explain the reasoning, why this all happened. We've got some other adventures coming up with more islands because Seattle has a chock-a-block of islands that one can have with bikes, and probably a lot more things to come as well. Hope you enjoy. Good afternoon. That's morning. From Mercer Island, Washington. And this is the I-90 trail, and we are going to cross Lake Washington together. I've never done this. It is not raining. It is the one day this weekend where it will not be raining, and so we are taking full advantage of it. I came out here because I had a coffee scheduled with an old high school friend, and I hadn't seen her in 25 years, I think we decided. And she's been in the North, not completely, she's been in the Northwest for a while. And when you move into a town where there's somebody you know from a long time ago, you absolutely have to at least have coffee. And you just never know how that's going to go. But it was really lovely, and it's nice to catch up and everything. And yeah. So that was fun. But now, adventure. So it's about a 40-minute ride. I'm going to assume I'm going to be editing some of this so you don't have to listen to all 40 minutes of it. But we are going to be crossing Lake Washington. Mercer Island is in between basically the east side, Bellevue and the lake, and Seattle, right in the middle of the lake. And it's got a hill to it, as you may be able to hear me going up here. Because there's a bluff before you get out on I-90, or the trail adjacent to it. There's a bridge, obviously, I-90, that gets you to Seattle, and thankfully, they built nice bike infrastructure on it. I was surprised that it was so easy, and I'm really excited to give this a roll. Whew, a little out of breath. There we go. I think that's the climb. This is the Mountains of Sound Greenway. See the signage? No, not at the top of the hill. More to go. Up here by the tennis courts has a fabulous view of downtown Seattle. So, might get a little unfortunately, I was about to do sorry, out of breath. Okay. For some reason, this recording likes to stop recording, so we just took a nice picture of downtown Seattle from a park here where I have actually been to with my niece and nephew when they had lacrosse practice. Aubrey Davis Park, I think it's called, for those of you local.
And we are very close to getting on the I-90 trail that will, I guess we've been on it, but this will get us basically on the bridge if it appears. A few bikers out today. I think it's a great day for cycling, especially since it's going to be raining for the rest of the weekend soon. But yeah, on a little bit of a down slope right now, which you may or may not be able to hear. And we're getting to the shoreline here in a moment as we descend. All right. Yeah, grabbing some headwinds here. You probably can hear traffic here on I-90. So basically the last couple of miles of it till it terminates in Seattle. I-90 is important to me because I grew up on it when it's the New York State Thruway. Yeah, very close to it, not on it. Oh, the water is definitively chilled out. I took a bus here, which may or may not have made the recording. I've said a lot that hasn't been recorded. But in any event, we are definitely not in a on your left culture. Just got passed very closely by a couple of cyclists. It is interesting what the dynamics are in any given place. It is fairly noisy though. I could have missed it. I did not hear a flight bell. But this is fabulous. Oh, I was trying to figure out, some oncoming cyclists were waving, and I'm like, are they waving at cars? And then the link light rail went by, and that is exciting. Let me tell you why. That is the brand new connector between Bellevue and Seattle on light rail. And it looked like it was, I don't know if that's a test train, but it was saying Linwood on it, which means, oh, and here comes one in the opposite direction. Wow, this is exciting for us transit nerds. This is really going to change things here. Yeah, these trains are empty, so they remain test trains. But yeah, very exciting. Another fun thing that just passed by was somebody's U-Box. I will be loading one of those up in the couple of weeks for bringing stuff out. And just looking at it physically in person, I'm wondering if I should get a second one. I'm trying to keep the number of things small for myself, but that looks smaller than I expected. So I may get two. Move update, since this is, by the time you hear this, I don't know where I'll be by the time you're hearing this, but yeah, it's going. I move into my more permanent place soon, and it's in a cool neighborhood, different neighborhood than I'm in right now. I'm downtown now. I'll be in a new neighborhood that's very exciting for me. And it's nice to be able to start exploring things in Seattle by bike. And this was on my list. Again, nice way to shrink things down. When you think about, oh, I've got to go to Mercer Island from downtown, you think, okay, that's a lot, that's a hassle. But between transit and cycling, and in my case, a little mix, boy, it is easy. And I'm very happy to report that. The surface is excellent. And obviously a little noisy being right here on a major interstate, but it's very protected. It's not a lane, it's its own separate protected infrastructure. So that makes a big difference. And yeah, even on a late winter day, it is being used. So I imagine in the summer, this is a very heavily used thoroughfare, linking the two parts of the metro area. Oh, this has been fantastic. Also feels good to get on a bike. Having flown in last night, it's nice to get some movement in. I know many of you know what I'm talking about. The Brompton, now that it's been serviced, just rides like a dream. These are brand new tires too, because I had reported. But it is such a fabulous bike and really perfect for my use today. Folding it up and bringing it in to the coffee shop, and just there's your mode of transportation. That's what's going to be getting me back. And it's funny, the notion that to do this, I don't want to say it felt daunting, but it just, oh, well, that's a thing to cross the lake. I'm on the uphill component now as we get to the point where the other end, the west side of this, links to Seattle proper. And the tunnel that one goes through when you drive to Seattle from the east. It is interesting, a lot of people are wearing rain gear today, and I am very much not. I'm wearing go out to coffee gear. All right, so we are nearly at the apex of the hill here. Probably a solid 100 feet, 200 feet to the ground. I believe this neighborhood is called Leshai. It's a fairly well-to-do area, and no surprise has incredible views out on Lake Washington. So I believe Kurt Cobain's final home was not terribly far from here. Sadly, where he took his life, of course. All right, now it's going to be a little quieter. And it appears I go up. Probably not much of a surprise. Yeah, I may be hopping off the bike at some point, if need be. But we're in climb mode. It's all good. Yeah, another nice vista point here of the bridge. And here's the bike tunnel. Oh yeah, wow, cool. A lot of cool graffiti too. You probably can hear the difference in the soundscape. Oh, this would be a fun place to get some pictures of graffiti art, which I really do. Let me come back at some other point. As I think about decorating, I've thought about getting more of that kind of art for my new home, because I've always liked it, especially like that kind of Banksy style template-y looks that I'm not seeing any in here. This is all the more traditional word art, which is also very cool. So yeah, getting some good high quality photos in here could be a fun addition, especially if something truly speaks to me. But I think that's for another time. But yeah, this is cool. I definitely recommend this portion of the experience. Oh, there's a very haunting image that I think if I hung on my wall, the place would very much be possessed immediately. So we won't use that one. It was beautiful, but haunting is the word. All right. So this is nice because this cuts through a bunch of the hills here. And we're a little over 2.5 miles away at this point. So very easy riding so far, hills notwithstanding. And we are emerging from the graffiti tunnel, which was very cool. And this is a neighborhood that's not very far from where my cousin currently lives, I don't think. Not too far. Yeah, that was fun. That was the big portion of this ride, but now I get to do a little bit of Seattle exploring. I believe I may have some more climbs, but yeah, I think I'll have one more pretty sizable one. And then from that point, it'll be mostly downhill to get to my place downtown, which by the time you're hearing this, I will no longer be. And it's been a really nice stay. I would highly recommend doing what I did, which is a shorter term rental. Yeah, a shorter term rental when you move to a new place. And especially if you don't have a lot of familiarity. And granted, I know this isn't going to be possible for a lot of folks, but I was able to use a service called Furnish Finder, which basically pairs up folks who have the ability to do shorter term rentals, more than 30 days, but shorter term. And it really served me well to have 2.5 months, roughly, of a great place to stay, really nice amenities, had a very nice working relationship with the person who rented the place to me. She was out of the country, so this worked out great for her. And then for me, it was affordable and a great way for this transition period. And then it allowed me a home base to look around. And as you all know, I was very focused on West Seattle at first. And in the end, ended up choosing a different neighborhood. Not because West Seattle was bad. I have a good friend who lives there, and I expect that I'll be there a fair amount. But I ended up choosing a different neighborhood, one that I think is even more aligned with where I'm at in the here and now. And so that's pretty exciting. And I don't think that would have worked out or happened that way had I just looked for a 1-year rental and just moved in. Sure, it would have been fine, but I think that it allowed me to optimize a bit more, and that's pretty great. That's exciting. All right, so we are on the, what would this be? The south side of I-90 right now, along sound barriers. Pedestrian blasting some tunes, and got a great view of downtown right here. Since we're a lot closer, it's a little more intimate view than what we had before. And I'm not sure what neighborhood this would be. I think that this might be the edge of Mount Baker. So it's MLK right below me, which is a north-south thoroughfare of note in this part of the city. Yeah, very impressed with the quality of the infrastructure. Is it perfect? No, but I will say, without knowing what it would be like at all, and just knowing that there's pressure from unhoused folks, which are present, but it's out of the way. It's not blocking the trail, and everyone's live and let live, which I think is great. Yeah, another climb. This, I think, will be a big climb, because if memory serves, the geography here is a big ridge line here. Yeah, this is the one that I'm thinking of. I have climbed this before once when riding, not directly around here, but close to here where my cousin's place was. You do have to get up and over this. Let's see here. We're going to go into full climb mode and just chill out. But yeah, this is pretty steep. Seattle, of course, has a lot of Asian influence from a variety of sources. This is I don't even have the right word for it. It appears to be Chinese here in, it may be Korean. This is Daejeong Park, which is Korea's sister city park. So Daejeong is a sister city to Seattle. I'm going to amend what I said. That is a Korean pergola thing. I'm going to have to learn a lot more about Korea and Korean culture. I, of course, had a much bigger influence in my life with Japanese culture because I lived there for a couple of years. So yeah, lots of different cultural experiences here in Seattle to learn and enrich one's life. Yeah, this is great because I didn't have to, it follows the ridge line here at this point, so I didn't have to climb up and over the full part of it. And it is where the ridge peters out here as we get closer to downtown. So really well structured path here for everyone to use. Yeah, this is impressive. And again, I really had no sense of what this would be like for this part. Get a really good look at Capitol Hill from here. And the vibes there. There's a lot of health care and hospitals in this area, which I think is Beacon Hill, if memory serves. Doesn't appear to have, it appears to be too cloudy for mountains to be out today. And I can see the home of Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. We're on the edge of a park here. And we're descending at fairly nice speed. And I am possibly, yeah, I have, it appears gone the wrong way. And I get to climb all of that back up again. Oh, missed turn. Yeah, when you see your Google Maps line suddenly stop in the direction you're going, it's usually a good clue. Yeah, when I realized I was going parallel with I-5 soon, I was like, no, that's the wrong way. We would like to keep going west. And back at the top of the hill. And my admonition, kids, don't do drugs, especially the harder variety. And I'm now seeing where I should have turned. Okay. I think. Yes. I think this is right. And we can see the water for the first time. Elliott Bay. And I almost went the wrong way again. All right. Now we're on the right track. And getting close to Pioneer Square, which is the sort of neighborhood I'm adjacent to, really on. Yeah, my place, and since you're hearing this after I'm moving, I'm a little more open to sharing this part. My place is right on the border of what folks would call downtown and Pioneer Square. And we are now off the bike infrastructure. Sharrow land right now. And back on a bike lane. So we're doing a lot of ratcheting down this incline. And we're on King Street, which of course you may know from having ever been here to Seattle. This is where the Amtrak and Sounder station is in the International District. So International District in a moment. Oh, wow. And there is something going on. Maybe Lunar New Year stuff still. It is a thing. And I may have to find alternate ways through because this was supposed to be my path and it is very blocked off. Will they allow me to ride? Or, nah, more so, I'm happy to walk my bike through this. Well, this will be fun. And you'll get to hear it, I think, if I get to walk through this. You may be able to hear the drums already. This is a thing. All right, surprise. I said there'd be culture. We got culture. That was cool. Dragon situation.
Daddy! Daddy!
And I'm walking my bike through all this. I have a good friend who is very into all this and is definitely getting that video I just took. Waterproof jewelry for sale. Very important in Seattle. Yeah, this is King Street's also a main thoroughfare here in the International District. And it's super cool.
I saw Ada yesterday.
So, the things you can stumble upon by bike. Exhibit 1973. The other thing that's happening in town this weekend is the Emerald City Comic-Con. So it is a busy time in Seattle. Something I may consider going to tomorrow, honestly. I haven't been to a Comic-Con in forever. And I do have a free day, so maybe. The Mariners Moose is here. The baseball team, the beloved local baseball team. I don't know if you can hear the announcements. This is the food area. I don't know if you can hear the person who was very excited about spicy mango teriyaki.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. A little bit of chaos, but good chaos. As we work our way through here. At the end of the street is where King Street Station, the Amtrak station is. And also the end of the masses here. Oh, there's fabulous food. If I wasn't going out for an early dinner drinks thing, I would absolutely be all over it. Just fantastic. We got some music and dancing. Again, I'm so terribly ignorant. I'm sure it has a proper name to it, and I just don't know. But it's cool. Hopefully you can hear it. And just the kind of classic festival market thing. Ooh, Seattle Public Utilities. I could sign up for my account maybe another time. Uwajimaya, the fabulous Asian Grocery has a booth here. Of course, its location is a block or so away from here, so it makes sense. Oh, this is enormous. Yeah, this goes on one of the cross streets here on 6th.
Sorry.
And I started at, I think, 8th or 9th, so just to give you a sense of the scale of this. Oh, pumpkin pie, kettle corn. Oh, the temptations are very strong right now. Since we're in another food area, things are backed up a bit. Big Island Poke. Get some Polynesian, Hawaiian vibes. Oh, and we are just about out. Just about out. Oh, the Korean fried chicken place, which is supposed to be really good. Yeah, I heard really good things about that. That may be on my list when I have room for food, which I do not right now. Okay, that was a genuine surprise. I hope that the soundscape on that was fun to listen to, because that was fun to walk through. Right. Yeah, here's the International District Light Rail Station, which I passed through last night. And we are on our way on the bike again. That was delightful. I hope that sounded as fun for you. I'll find out in the editing as we walked through there. Didn't make great time, but we certainly enjoyed it. Got a little bit of a climb. Jackson and 5th. And I had to cross over. There's a bike lane on the left side that is a two-way bike lane. And a full-on bike signal, which I love seeing. Good Seattle infrastructure. And up we go for a block. Not too bad. Here the hill starts a little bit further to the north from here, where it gets steeper and, well, steeper. But my routing is trying to minimize that by going on the flattest possible move. And so, yeah, here we go. Down another two-way bit of infrastructure to get us down to 2nd. And once we get there, then we're really in Pioneer Square, going back westbound again, so I can see the water. Yeah, good signaling here, bike-specific signaling. I like that. Good infrastructure day for me. We had the first phone fall off bike moment, and the reason was I have a MagSafe thing, but you do need to throw down an extra strap on it, otherwise we get issues. You might have gotten to hear a good quality fall. And we're about to turn on 2nd, and yeah, we're getting close to the end of the ride here, which has been really fun. I'm glad I didn't ride there, because I think I would have been a little, not sweaty, but I don't think I would have been as present for my coffee, which I'm really grateful. Once again, that was nice. Let's just revisit that in my head here. That was really fun. Exceeded expectations. And we are just about to get our green here, I think. Again, another bicycle-specific bit of infrastructure, which is nice because this is a big bus area. And so the fact that everybody's got clear directionals is excellent. I think maybe catching some wind. My dead cat has fallen. I think we're just gonna go with it. Now, it does appear, I'm gonna deviate, I think, here, because there's some construction. And now we're very firmly in Pioneer Square. And I don't say that just because there's big banners that say Pioneer Square. And turning on Occidental. Yeah, that'll get us back on route. The closest true market to my place. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, but oh my God, I forgot. I need some cider, like a hard cider or something. And we are now in the very historic portion of Pioneer Square. The Klondike National Historic Park is right here. This is where a big part of the gold rush happened. And there's a lot of really fascinating history here in Seattle. Also at the pergola thing here that I think I mentioned in a past pod. After the Seahawks won, there was a bunch of Nimrods who got on top of that and ended up busting it. So I think the Historic Society or something's like trying to raise money to fix it, because it is truly historic. Go and buy Magic Mouse toys at a little toy shop for buying stuff for the kids. And yeah, here we go. I will now stop announcing exactly where I'm at. No, I don't live here anymore. Yeah, my building is very close to the ferry terminal, which has been so fun, so cool to like experience this part of town. And just doing this by bike now, it's just been fabulous. But yeah, as we get to the point, I can see my building. It is the end of our little micro adventure here in Seattle. We started at Mercer Island, and now we are here in the heart of downtown, right by the ferry terminal, which I can see right now. Isn't that cool? Yeah, thanks for joining. Nice little fun time. And I'm going to get on the sidewalk now, because we're literally at the point where I'm at my building, so I can handle all that, get myself in. And that was a great adventure. And once again, shrink the world by a bike. You have heard me say that so often. I don't think I would have ever thought that I would casually ride a bike to or from Mercer Island from downtown Seattle. That wouldn't have been in my lexicon. Now I know it's not only possible, it's trivial and fun. Beautiful day for it. And as we wrap this up, I say, go out and do some adventuring, man. We're starting to get to that good part of the season, so get out and ride.
Thank you for joining. You can find Pedal Shift at pedalshift.net for more great bicycle touring content. You can hear the Pedal Shift project through Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Opening music courtesy of Jason Kent off his self-titled album. The track is called America. Check out his band Sunfield's latest release, Mono Mono, wherever cool music is available.